All right, the executive report.
So last Friday, I think it was, we experienced our first winter storm with potentially hazardous conditions, and I just was very appreciative of all the communication that happened, both internally here amongst Park District staff, and then externally with our partners. Everyone just helping us to make the correct decisions, assess conditions. We did decide to close the park district early at 2 p.m. that day. I think it was the right decision. Schools were closed. But it did just kind of remind me of really all the good people that we have, both internally and in the community, really work together, in the best interest of the patrons, and especially in their safety. So, that was a really good experience. I thought that went well for everyone. I also wanted to invite the commissioners to the IAPD legislative breakfast. So if you flip to the last 2 pages of this report, there's the page invite. This year it's going to be held at Vernon Hills. I think for many years it's been held at Vernon. So this year Vernon Hills Park District is organizing it. It really is a well-attended event, well put together. A lot of legislators attend. So I will be there, and then if the commissioners just want to let me know who else would like to attend. Okay, Cheryl. It is on, February 23rd. It starts at 8 a.m. It probably goes till maybe 10:30 or 11.
I really like.
Okay. No? Yeah. Okay. No problem. No problem. Well, if anything changes. Yeah. So I'll reply for myself, Phil, and Cheryl. Then be sure to send reminders as it So speaking of reminders, I also put in the budget review sessions. I know we went through this and approved it at the last meeting, but just wanted to include it again in the packet so everyone has the dates in March on their calendar. Well, I also wanted to mention and have Christine talk about it a little bit, the Placer AI location analytics that we recently signed up for and are now using. If you scroll down in the director's report, there's some really good data in there in regards to the attendance in December on the holiday lighted trail. So this is a new piece of software that we subscribe to that Christine has been managing, and it gives us a lot of good metrics as far as demographics, location, things like that. If you can just flip down, it's PDF page 53. Like the three pictures going horizontal? Yeah, sure.
The information. What's the information capture? Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, it's really good, and Christine would do a more justice explaining it than I would.
So this software captures people's local directory by locations. So you have an app on your phone, and if the app makes a request, you want to have your locations turned on, sometimes or always or never when you're utilizing your phone. The fact that you want your locations turned on, it's tracking information to know where your locations are at. So if they have, for example, I did geofencing around to capture the data for the lighted trail for business. We want to see when are they coming in, what is the most frequent visiting, first week, second week, third week. So if they have 15 or more that we're able to capture data to look at the analytics of when they're entering the trail, when they're entering that we're able to look at data year over year. We're able to go back many years. So, but it's allowing us to the activity that's actually happening and if the community is responsive to what is currently in place. So, Rich and his team, Dowie just put a lot of time and effort into making that trail what it is. I think that stats kind of So,
So the other cities, you put that in your software and then they track that also?
I don't, so actually I'm able to show, they do basically like a report, like a full report, to see what towns and where people are coming from, that are visiting or stopping in that has created. And I asked a couple of different questions regarding these metrics as well. So my question was, told numbers originating from an example. And what I was assured is that when I look at this data, it's not just where the telephone numbers. They actually look at where people are residing for months at a time. So they see activity from these locations for these individuals for 2 months. It's just like on their phone. These established on your phone. Eventually, it's going to pick up that moved, and Apple's on to do that. So same type of scenario. So these individuals that are in these different areas, they were visitors that came to my holidays.
Oh, accurate.
According to all the data, the research that I've done, their percent of error is less than 3%.
Yeah, it is.
So that was when I said question. What's the name of it?
It's Placer AI.
Now,
And
I mean, some of the other data that they can show that Christine was telling you that we haven't even displayed here is they can do it by gross household income, right?
Yeah.
They can get
scary.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're able to track. So I was able to see like individuals who came to the trail. Where do they come to the trail from before, and where do they go after?
Where do
Do
they
they
stop on the
go
way?
to Taco Bell? Do they go to
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's
you know,
cool.
what shopping centers they use, what their income levels are. And this, they use the current census data to compile those metrics. Prior to us entering into Pixar AI, we did a lot of research, right? I contacted other park districts, other municipalities that utilize Pixar. The customer service is ranked extremely high. And honestly, we've had this in December. And for myself, they're extremely helpful in helping us analyze the data. Definitely it's not just for the district, but for the city with our festivals, holidays,
I was gonna ask
Labor Day parade,
for the concerts.
park, right? So we have been doing things very old school. Right? We stand outside with a picture. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So-
It took a while to give you all the back on.
Yeah. So, and I did some preliminary data for an example for the Independence Day celebration. I can tell you that we have 5,000 people in the park, which helps
And
me
we thought that.
and
too.
I am securing food vendors, right? So I was going off this expectation or gut instinct of how many people I had in the park. But as we're moving forward, right, I want to be able to confidently say that many, if they have the option to come here, to go to Zion or July 4th, versus a different community, right? I can tell them confidently, based on the metrics that we have, that we had 5,000 people in the park. This is when our attendance was the highest. This is when we left the park, so that they want to come here. So that their food sales and their food truck sales and
I was gonna say that would help them out a lot too.
So it's really good. I think it's really helpful to have this data, and like she said, we're just scratching the surface on
Oh,
how
that's
to
great.
use it and how to analyze it.
I think that with all the data that is there, personal made data and
Yeah.
it's really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And how'd you run it? Go ahead, Jeff.
Yes, that is correct. So out of, so, but just to clarify that, so you guys understand, because you'll see this in the future, the total visitors are 4,311. Unique visitors, only came once. So this platform is able to see, for example, if an individual went in the trail twice, 3 times, as staff, rangers, maintenance, they would do that trail multiple times, right? So the difference between total visitors and unique visitors are people who went in multiple times. Unique visitors, they just went to the trail once.
I think this is great, but what I think is really wild is it breaks it down by different categories. I mean, that is just,
It's really cool.
it is scary, just like Cheryl said. It's scary.
Even for planning the movement of the business, time to go up.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jess? Dave? Cheryl, you got anything?
So if you just keep scrolling 2 more pages real quick, there's a good picture there from golf operations, golf maintenance, where you can see them rebuilding the tee box at Shepherd's on 8. So that's the kind of projects, and I think we talked about this last time as well too, but those are the kind of projects that golf maintenance will do in the off season, right? Rebuild tee boxes and,
Punch holes, grind reels.
yeah, all kind of stuff. I mean, just because it's cold out and no one's golfing, our guys are staying busy maintaining equipment or rebuilding the course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep box now.
Which one?
No, there'll still be the ladies.
No.
Small.
Okay. I just want you connected the three.
Yeah,
There's
is it
one
not,
raised on the very back, and that's the middle tee right there.
it's not a full? It's not really a full shot, just of the whole tee box.
Al, is this software any help to you at Shepherd's or Shiloh?
I think it was.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if you go to your girlfriend's.
So the thing about the software is that it will know if you go home, but I won't know that you go home.
Yeah, okay.
I will be able to speculate where you went, but
Is this off GPS? Is it the thing off GPS? Satellite?
yeah,
Pretty
it's
much,
based
yeah.
upon cell phone data. And so, just to be clear, so that all of you know, that I don't get telephone numbers, I don't get names, I don't get personal information, personal data.
Not yet.
Not for this.
No, not for this. Not for this.
Yeah. And honestly, that is part of like the contract that we have signed, that they don't share any personal information.
They have to put.
Maybe, probably.
Well, they didn't get it, but, it's a good great area.
I just.
It's have to use that.
But yeah, Bill, can we use it to put around Shiloh Golf Course as a geofence to say
That's-
how many people that are come through are from Zion, Kenosha, Gurnee,
Yeah.
Waukegan?
But also,
What's their income level? What's their average age? Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a kind of a limited use.
I mean,
Yeah.
I tell you, and I'm no expert by no stretch of the imagination, but just looking at parking lots, I mean, you see it all the time. There are different plates from Wisconsin, from, and a lot of Illinois, but they're not all from Zion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be something, I don't
It'd be
know.
interesting for Shepherd's
Yeah.
Park to see,
Average
that could
income
even help with
person.
marketing.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Company called Dowie. They were the big people that brought with all these data and it's astounding to go around doing it.
Yeah.
They actually oversaw the program. I was talking to them, they give me the conversation. Oh, what was that? Then I found out that it's only public conversation. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. Going back to what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you find the up the picture? It looks like they're doing that also.
Around the very blue level.
No.
Kind of realigned it to, you can see it pointing directly at the green now versus before it used to point more to like what would be the 1 o'clock position.
I always,
Level it up.
I always get it over again.
So that is all for me.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric. And
Yeah, the park ranger report. I did ask Chad about, and I think his box there where it says calls for service November. That should be December, but I did ask him, like, kind of looking at that bar chart, like, wow, it's way off. It's much higher, right, than prior years. And like asking Chad, kind of like, what's the rationale or explanation as to why the 2023 calls for service are so much higher than last year and prior years? And a couple factors. One, we just have more rangers, better rangers that more thoroughly document things. So better record keeping, better documentation. Chad and his folks are more proactive, right, in being out in the community and engaging with patrons. And they also now have learned, and Chad has learned, kind of like, what are the hot spots for calls? Where are the spots where we should be more frequently versus somewhere else where we will actually encounter a call for service?
These having the idea of document what a nation
I'm sure Chad could probably break that down. I can definitely ask him that tomorrow.
it doesn't have to be by numbers, by the accidents and injuries. Just want a general statement.
Like a pie graph or
No,
something.
not even that. Just a paragraph.
Sure.
It's just separate by commas that we've had these stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
and just some ballpark ideas.
Yeah, and he
Versus what the time.
Yeah, and he recently finished up his annual ranger report that he has put together. I think, David, was your first meeting when you got on the park board that Chad had come and given his annual report for 2022. He just recently finished his annual report for 2023. He runs that report on a calendar year basis. And I've asked him to come to either what will be the February meeting or the March meeting to come and update the board on kind of ranger operations.
And again, I highly recommend that the commissioners do take a ride along the chat to try and see what those guys really do on a day-to-day basis. And I think it will really open the eyes on that. They just don't sit here and do nothing. But they're actually really working and doing a great job out there.
Yeah, they do provide a lot of value to the park district and the patrons in a lot of different capacities. Yeah.
Anything else? Jake, go ahead.
I don't know what that become was. That's what
When it was completely what, Chad?
when it was going fast. That's what
Yeah.
backup. He did amazing job when
Yeah. He has done an amazing job and he's continuing
Yes.
to work on things, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Anything else? All right, we'll move on. The approval of the culvert.
Yep, so the Edina Bike Trail is complete. Our contractor Landworks has completed all sections of the trail. The trail obviously was changed from a surface area of what was like an asphalt to now what's more of a traditional bike mix, like you see on the Forest Reserve Trail. That whole trail and area in general, as we've said over the year or so, is very difficult to work in just because it's primarily like almost wetland, right? And everything is flowing just from the west to the east down to the lake. And so there are a number of culverts that are throughout the trail, divert the water under it and handle the water and things like that. But we have identified one particularly problematic spot where the culvert is just really not big enough to handle the water flow that's coming in that section. And so, and that was found after the trail was complete and we had some decent rainfalls and you see it kind of washing out the trail in this particular spot. So we asked the contractor Landworks to really assess it and provide us with a solution. First part, obviously, is like a civil engineering study, which you can see all the plans in there from the civil engineer, and then they give us their cost estimate and their proposed solution. So he's saying to really switch from a 24-inch metal pipe to two 18-inch concrete drainage pipes with additional like riprap features on each side of it, which is just big stones and stuff like that, so it doesn't wash out before. But his price on that work is $33,065. So we are seeking the board's approval to really remedy that situation. So it's just not something in the future that we constantly have to tend to after a decent rainfall.
Providing the service?
Landworks is
They're the ones that are gonna do
Yeah.
that.
correct. you know, and this is still in combination with, so like we had to get it permitted through stormwater management. We had to go through the civil engineer to actually come up with all the drawings to get the permit. And then have the contractor look at all the drawings.
Well, we don't have that not that page.
No, he actually just gave me an email.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he just emailed it based on kind of like the schematics from the civil engineer.
Okay.
Pretty cells on the end.
Yeah, that is where the number is, and then if you go down more of the detail, it's like in the director's report.
Oh.
It's like director's report, like page
I was
2-ish.
looking at the.
Yeah, and I know that like on your iPads or tablet, that gets a little wacky there just because of the size of how the civil engineer, which is it was K and Associates. That's how I submitted it, but you can see all his drawings. Yeah, that's where the pages start to get a little wacky. It's like
Right,
PDF.
yeah.
It's like PDF page 59. So I think you have to kind of minimize or zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Right. So I don't know if there's any questions in regards to that. I mean, myself and or Rich especially, who is constantly down there with the contractor, talking through issues.
Anybody have any questions for Rich or Eric or about this? I mean, so,
Gotta be done.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not
Yeah.
cheap. And
so we approving the actual construction of the trail or, and the price?
Additional cost.
And the additional cost? Yeah,
probably like the change
Thank
order
you,
additional
Cheryl.
amount of 33,000 specifically.
thank you, sir. Yeah,
Yep.
no, seriously, I wanna make sure that we,
Yep.
yeah, we do it right. Okay. All right, and,
Culvert replacement.
okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
I gotta call you. Will they come up down the field and double part the field?
Situations like this,
Yeah.
well, I guess I will only say hopefully not, right? Depends on, we did have a couple significant rains like later in the fall that alerted us to this one. So hopefully not, but it's always going to be dependent on, you know, the weather, how hard the rain is, how much the rain is. Hopefully what we have out there will handle 90% of the rain events, right? Rich and his maintenance crew do trail inspections, so they're constantly making sure the trails are safe and documenting everything. We asked the contractor specifically what type of mix he uses, so we're going to have some extra loads of that bicycle trail mix to be able to repair sections or level them out.
All right.
Need, a motion for the bike trail, additional cost of $32,000.
Okay, any other questions? All right, I will entertain a motion for approval of the culvert of the Dinah Bike Trail.
Make a motion that we, approve funds, for the, bike trail in the amount of $32,000.
I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second. Okay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Philippe? Commissioner
But
Commissioner Aye. President Burke?
Aye. All right, next, resolution 909.
Yep, so the next item is resolution 909, which is our interfund transfer. I know we talked about it a little bit in the finance meeting, so this is two separate transfers. One from the recreation fund to the pool to remedy its current cash deficit in the amount of $120,000. The second transfer is the budgeted transfer of $25,000. Going back to that first one, so like I said before, we budgeted $103,522. This is extra. So the $120,000 is a little above and beyond what we budgeted. The $25,000 transfer from Shepherd's Crook to the recreation fund is just so it covers the concert series. That's how we're applying the funds, and that's exactly what an enterprise fund should do: is bring in external money to the district and then use some of that money to support some of the programs and special events. So that's what this $25,000 is.
Said in the finance meeting that thought we might have to.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you don't wanna transfer more now?
Just because I don't know exactly what that amount will be, so what I would like to do now is to just kind of move this 120,000 so we can see the financials, see the effect that this additional 17,000 has on the recreation fund.
So you're just shifting money that you already know.
Right.
It's money that you don't know.
Yeah, right. If we look at the cash position report in the packet here, it will make the pool by
That'd be the timing. We just moving that. Moving for recreation funds to Sarah Cruz.
Right, correct.
But they will move the seven schools to recreation fund and we just took money out of it.
Right.
So it's 25, why?
Well, both of these transfers were budgeted, right, within the year, and so it does kind of become a shell game of moving for moving with. But it's really, I guess, if you look at like what the nature of the transfer is for each of them separately, we know that the recreation fund always has to subsidize. And when Kate prepares the recreation budget, she determines what that number is, gets to be at. So that's kind of one placeholder. Okay, recreation has to subsidize pool operations by this much. And then the second one for Shepherds is to just, again, reflect truly what an enterprise fund does and the amount needed for it to support the concert series. Because then also in the audit report, when the audit report comes out, you'll see these transfers of X amount from the recreation fund to the pool, and then from the golf course to recreation. So,
Okay, you explained it well, and I was saying it might be a timing issue, but it sounds more like a category issue.
yeah, correct.
Any other questions? Go ahead, folks.
What you see the year after that we look at 2020?
Kay is kind of preliminarily into the recreation budget, and I think she's. So next year.
With no increase in fees.
Yeah.
So I haven't messed with fees yet, programs and swim lessons and admissions. I've just done those
Yeah, so
expenditures.
right, in the current fiscal year, this number could end up ultimately in total to be 125,000, something like that. Next year, expecting maybe 153,000. Again, Kay has addressed with our aquatics coordinator, to be real mindful of and talk about how to manage wages better. Right, that was kind of one of the reasons why this budget
There was
right
a lot
now
of,
is higher.
a lot of new staff, so
Yeah.
when you have a lot of new young staff, you have to do more training. And so it kind of that off. Yeah, because she had a lot, she had 28. It was a huge increase. So, but they were very young. First time jobs. Requires a lot.
Yeah, they did a great job, and I mean, I think Park District in the Midwest, running an outdoor pool is not
It's not
an
easy.
operation.
No.
It's not easy.
No.
Yeah, but if I put that in the bowl.
Yeah, took them to the woodshed.
Okay, any other questions? All right, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve resolution 909.
Motion when we approve resolution 909, to move $120,000 from the recreation fund to Santa Cruz and to move $25,000 from the recreation fund.
Have a second? Have a second. Kate, please give the roll call.
Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner, President.
Aye. All right, next one is the 2024 season of proposal golf rates.
Yep, so our golf operations manager, Mr. Farkas, is here to go through his thorough analysis of where he would and advises that we move rates to for the upcoming season. I mean, I will just say that, Alan having 40 years experience in the golf industry is a huge benefit to us. He really has his finger on, rates and demand and other courses and competitors and local area prices and things like that. And he starts thinking about this stuff in probably July or August as he just kind of sees, the activity out there at the golf courses. So I will let.
I have no hesitation with Alan does because I know he runs it so well.
Yeah.
He does his homework.
Yeah.
too.
I get to be like the cigar store Indian that sits on a cigar store down
No,
in
no,
Chicago,
no.
makes it's got all these arrows in it.
No.
When I get to raise rates in 40 years, I got to see some shots.
Okay. I was 70. I, when you pick it, I was, well, if you come in different, the Wednesday, I talked to someone who got in Wisconsin. He told me my kids pay a month of fee. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I put a memo in the board packet. Obviously, it talks about it's not rocket science or science to know that costs have increased quite a bit. We've got to keep up with that. I mean, I first got here in 2016. Maryland told me they were continuing to tell me, and some Aerosol, let me know. Was the methodology of thinking about maximization. So with that in mind, what happened in the last 3 or 4 years with COVID, there's been a real increased demand, 20% nationally. In 2021 and 22, when they first measured it, it was a 20% average increase in rounds played. Obviously, we've got a fixed number of times that we can celebrate, so that increased demand displaced people that can't get on the golf course on weekends. The same thing with Shiloh. Shiloh's methodology was always a don't put up money in, and just a great place to play golf, and be the low cost provider of a round of golf in this area. But with that increased demand of COVID, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but let me know with Shiloh and Shepherd's Bush, they kind of adopted the same philosophy now of profit maximization, because there's times at Shiloh where there's a little bit of confusion over, well, whether you play golf or not, Shiloh's the place to go because it's the cheapest game in town. And you've got people that are out there playing, they're reasonably serious about playing golf. They're saying, well, how can we commingle these two groups? One group doesn't even know how to get down the fairway. It takes them 25 minutes to play one hole. You've got people behind them that are accustomed to playing an average. So part of the pricing at Shiloh was to put us in a position where some of the beginners maybe go to a range where they should be, because the course is where you play the game, it's not where you learn the game. It may send some folks to some competitors in the Shiloh scenario, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's too difficult to manage on a Saturday or Sunday morning. It's still a very fair price if you look through what we proposed there. $2 and $3 increases. They're not painful, but that's what that product is worth now. We've capital into improvements, and folks recognize that and are willing to pay more. And part of this is entitled to that additional revenue. Shepherd's Crook, same thing, high demand, increasing costs. Some categories got hit harder than others. Again, I don't go, I'm trying to drive revenue, I don't go raise the price of down. I've got to go to the peak trade spots that generate the most demand. That's where we chose the biggest increase in the way of $10 up to $70 on a weekend at Shepherd's. Some of the other rates, junior walking, senior walking, increasing by $5. There's not enough really demand for those to move the needle at all. Might be 100 people. So, the prices, if inflation were to stabilize, this may be the rate structure for next year as well, just depending on what happens with folks' disposable income. I think you can see from a couple of one of the graphs I put in there, comparations. You can see that we're still, Shepherd's Brook is still a great value on the weekends at $89. It's just not going to be the best value in the county. And that's what I've been told for years and years. Surveys show that. It will still be a tremendous value, especially with the conditions I've listed in area, as well as Charlie continues to improve the golf course. And we've also got a mechanism in what we call that unit pricing in our software. If the economy were to change June 15th, I can start pushing buttons and I can lower those rates online. So this kind of just shows the high water mark of rates. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I would sit out there at $89 and something change. I would have an increase also. We've got ways to target folks for low prices.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the words that I've been getting is that golf has kind of upped the numbers at all the golf courses. I mean, I take lessons at golf tech and they're chasing people away because they just don't have enough instructors to teach the number of students that are coming. So, and I know for a fact that this wasn't done overnight. I knowing you like I do, I know you put a lot of brain power, a lot of work into this. You definitely did your research, and this is for the record. So, what you're telling us, I know, has been researched for at least 3 to 4 months, if not more. And I'm projecting it was more. But I think the way you did this layout is ideal. And the way golf is starting to expand, and we are top notch. I mean,
And the revenue, the increases of prices at Shiloh, we're probably talking about a top line improvement of $35,000 to $40,000 maximum. You don't know when it's going to rain. You're going to get rain out of a weekend. You're going to get rain out of a weekend. But everything being equal, that basically covers increasing expenses. This is not a drive to generate a lot of money with our capital project. Challenges and revenue is almost exactly double. $900,000
That's part of it. That's good. How do you actually, not like that, how does maintain the rates? I haven't been able to, I don't even know, I don't even know what kind of work it is.
Well, and I think that's a pretty insightful look. If you look at that bar graph, you can see people are really kind of tight. And those are the folks that are experiencing the financial problems right now. I don't know how you could possibly raise the same for 3 years. And as many there's just a squeeze on net operating income. They had not in really good shape.
That was a good management issue.
Yeah. But that's where and I kind of, take the arrows, like I say sometimes, because of steady and rising just a little bit every year is better than sitting pat and then really having to handle this $10 increase on a weekend, which is about half of our rounds of revenue come on the weekend, the other half comes on the other side. It will still be well received. We monitor the comments online. We do know what's going on in the counter when people comment on rating increases. Well, that's not bad at all. That's tremendous. Not getting people. cost. $89, and other places $99, $125. We've only got so much inventory to sell. We turn people away all week long. We say, I would pay $220 more. So things could change in a minute. We have pricing power right now. When the economy changes, there's no going back and saying, hey, Alan, can you give us some money? It's not there. And if the economy would change with improvements in these folks and all, they'll still be.
I went to the driving range down at the indoor driving range in Highland Park. And when the guy heard I was from Zion, man, he almost come to the counter and said, man, I love shepherds. That's all he talked about the whole time. I didn't get a chance to drive. That's all we talked about was shepherds. And we tried to get people from Chicago out there, but all they complained about was the drive. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. You know, so
The last thing I would bring up is specific to Shiloh, but it's not specific to Shepard. The only thing I did because we left season passes along with it every year. My philosophy has always been that the break-even point on season passes should be 40 times what they're doing the rating. And that's playing 2 times a week for 20 years. So season pass holders start realizing tremendous savings when those people are out there playing 3 and 4 and 5 times a week. Their average cost per round drops. And that's a good thing. That's fine. You know, we love people. But so you will see how do you get to $640 is the rate times 4. With the exception of the junior.
anybody have any?
I got 2 comments. One, thank you, William. This was a lot of good information. And what you just said, when someone said how you came up with those numbers, thank you. I have a comment what Phil said. I look out at Pleasant Prison. Not often, almost every day, they talk about Shepherd. They talk about the simulator. They talk about the codes. Every day someone new doesn't you put Shepherd videos. I'm like commissioner of science. They like, what? They constantly talk. But I'm like, you should try Shiloh. Shiloh got a lot of music. The queen of like inflation. I can tell you in Shiloh. The queen was fast and good.
We got the conference next week, so I've been ironing up my Shepherd's Crook collared shirts for the conference. You know, one thing, and this is great stuff, but one thing you didn't fail to mention, has there any been an increase on the simulators?
No, that's where there is no pricing power. When we first came in, I had a friend of mine that I worked with years ago in Florida. He was in Massachusetts. His simulators were going for $100 an hour. We started out at 50, we're at 40 now, but they're just gonna.
Yes.
So that.
Is it up and running now?
Oh yeah, we're all good. We've got a unique little position. Some folks love those simulators at the bar and it's loud music and everybody's watching. And some people like a private little spot, and that's kind of the group that's gravitated to us. 4 guys that like to be by themselves.
Great, great stuff, Alan. As always, you do a superb job. You and your people out there are second to none. So I can't thank you enough, and I know the board has echoed 100 times on the work you guys do out there. And you've got a lot to be proud of. I mean, the staff you have out there, and I know you're the type of guy that don't want to hear about Alan. You want to hear about the guys that work for him. It all shows.
But it's important that this, you know, people understand that when I got there, that golf course was medium railroad quality, medium railroad price. That's a no man's land. You either want to be the low cost producer or get up in a premium. You told me when I got here, I want this place back on the map, follow it up. So that's what we've done is we've taken it to the next level, quality wise, service wise, amenity wise. We'll never have the driving range, which is fine, but we'll always have a little bit of a ceiling on what we can do.
Good for well, good explanation.
Go ahead, Jess.
But we got that shows a lot.
Right.
And you up and I look effect on the map.
Oh, it will be, yeah.
Yeah, you jump up one closest to the next level.
We got our golf extraordinaire here, and I know Jesse keeps us updated on different stuff, which is good because, you know, a lot of people don't get a chance to get out there. And Jesse does. And, you know, and he comes up with a lot of good ideas and, you know, it all helps out. So. All right, anything else? All right, I would go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve the 2024 season proposed golf rates.
As stated.
Second, I have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett.
Aye.
President.
All right, Al, thanks again for all your hard work. It definitely shows. So, and tell those guys up there, stand by for next year. New shirt. Thanks, Al.
Thanks.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go to executive session there, Eric.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I will
You gotta
entertain.
ask for a motion.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Are you sure?
It's not the Medicaid. No.
Could be.
No, I appreciate you being keeping me honest because there were a few times tonight I skipped a couple things. So I appreciate it, Ken. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion that we go into executive session.
What is this? Is it? Next session, discuss employment, plan compensation, of the Illinois.
I have a second.
I'll second.
I have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner
Aye.
Tomei. Commissioner Hyde.
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett.
Aye.
President.
Okay. Thank you.